So I'll get this recorded, have it sent to you by tomorrow. Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at this here. So what got you interested in coaching?
Basically, I've sort of hit a wall. Like, I got to Masters, and I feel like ball has just gotten so much significantly harder with how much better people are, right? Like, CC in general is really, like, getting me down, to be honest with you, like, mentally. Because it's just so, like, irritating to play against.
Okay.
So, just sort of looking for guidance there.
Okay. Wrecking ball specifically. So you want to focus mostly on wrecking ball today?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Sounds good. What do you hope to get out of the session? I want to be able to play ball without being miserable.
Right.
Why wrecking ball? I mean, it's just a dumb question. It's freaking wrecking ball, but I'm just curious.
I don't know. It's just, I just enjoy, like, when I was in Plat and Diamond, I just enjoyed, like, being able to do whatever I want. You know what I mean? Just, like, run through the enemy team, slam them. It's just satisfying. It's fun.
Okay. Makes sense. And you've been doing this since Overwatch 1?
Yeah, like 2019, maybe 18.
Okay. And you just hit Masters for the first time, or have you hit Masters before?
I hit Masters in season 4, and then again this season.
Mm-hmm. I know that theoretically I need to be behind them, off-angling, baiting out cooldowns, but sometimes it feels impossible to even get to that position. Okay. I'm flamed and asked to switch almost every game because that's the way I play. I definitely do not deserve to be in Masters. What? Okay, well, what does that mean?
Well, to be honest, when I wrote that, I was just like, I had this awful game. I was like, I'm so pissed off. I'm getting coaching, dude. So I was just like so mad, just writing out all my like frustrations.
Okay, fair enough. I'm glad to be a little bit of a cathartic release for you. So I definitely do not deserve to be in Masters. I'm also GM on Open Queue, which is usually my preferred game mode. Okay, that's wild. It's even more miserable than Masters because all the players are better than me. Well, what do you mean all the players are better than you?
Because like in GM Open Queue, I get like I get people my rank like Masters Roll Queue, but then I also get people who are top 500 Roll Queue. Like it's really a melting pot, right? Like I don't know what's going to be on the enemy team each game.
But you say because all the players are better than you, but really only half of the players are better than you.
Right, yeah.
Okay, another one of those cathartic things, I guess.
Yeah.
Last couple of seasons, I've done my placements for tanking and hopping other rules so I can have some fun. Okay, fair enough. And I assume that's where the soldier comes from.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, fair enough. And you say it says also hero pool Zarya though. Is that more of like a super tilt swap, or is that an occasional thing you play for fun, or what?
Yeah, it's like if they have I don't know Bastion and like Sim or whatever, like I'll just fuck these guys. I'm going Zarya.
Sure. Okay. So you play Overwatch 3 hours plus per day. How is that time spent? All ranked?
Yeah, pretty much just ranked.
Okay. Do you warm up at all?
I haven't like Vaxter or like the aerial aim trainer, but that's it really.
Okay, sounds good. I feel like that may not be as useful for Wrecking Ball. A little bit of mechanical warm up, something really short might be okay. But I think like obviously like once it's just about like getting the reps in game. Now, one thing that I have tried, I don't know if mechanics is necessarily a problem with you, but I feel like it's probably something that every ball should be at least looking for.
Right.
Is this. And this is not creative by any means, but it's, I think, important to do. So here's what you do. You're going to set your ability cooldown time to 0. And you might do this already, but if you don't, you need to be. Do this as a warm-up. Pick a map that you struggled with recently. And you're going to set the CDS to 0. And you can probably guess where I'm going there.
Right.
And you're going to do this. And you're going to go, what rollouts can I do here? And basically just try, like, whether it's the wall hops, which I'm not going to even try because I'm garbage at them. And you're just going to roll around and find out, like, okay, I need to be able to grapple onto the high ground from here. How do I do that? Grapple here? Right? Oh, no. And you just basically, you practice the specific section of the map over and over and over again until it gets more comfortable. Even if it's just like learning a couple of rollouts, right?
Right.
Highly recommend that. And that will also get you warmed up for not just get you warmed up, but it will like allow you to work over any weak points you might have with your game. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think you'll see on the game that I want to look at, like I wasn't warmed up mechanically and it kind of shows. So this is a great idea.
Right. And so, I mean, even like this, right? Like I need to get my jump situated here. I don't know if you can do it here, right? So that would be something you need to try over and over and over again until you can actually get it done right. Finding any sticking spots, anything along those lines. Highly, highly recommend that. I recommend that for any character that has something that's very mechanically demanding. And also, because you're playing Wrecking Ball, do they even allow it in try hard?
No, I tried.
Wrap. Then do this. Do this. It's obnoxious, right? But it I think like anything that's combo related, right? I think what's another tank that would be good here? Sigma's pretty good in free for all deathmatch. Ball is pretty good. Something like a Winston, not all that useful, right? But anything that like where you can roll around the maps, you got to work on your combos, learn how to assassinate a squishy as fast as you possibly can. Those are all things you can practice in this. So I don't think your warm up should be extensive, but that's something that you could do for 5 or 10 minutes and just to see how it goes.
Okay, gotcha.
And then ranked, do you take breaks between games?
Not really.
Have you tried taking breaks between games? Like 2 minutes, 3 minutes?
If I'm hungry. Like, get a snack, you know what I mean? But I never really tried it.
Yeah. Like, try it. See if it helps with, especially after a bad game. Try it.
Right.
Or even before a bad game. Prevent it from even being, build up your mental resilience by like mental reset. Go up, do something else, go back to it a little bit later. So let's put a couple of these things. Try 0 cooldowns, 0% cooldowns in any map you struggle. Roll around for 5-10 minutes. Or deathmatch. Do with music or whatever. Like you could just put on some music, you know, and just chill, right?
Right.
Other thing too is try taking short breaks between games, even just queue time. I know queue time would think isn't long, but even just queue time as preventative measure for tilt and crucially autopilot. Because you kind of force yourself to mentally reset just a tiny bit, right? Okay. Goals, short term, be able to play ball in the counters. Long term, be comfortable in Masters, okay? Now, I'm going to be honest with you right now. Why do you think so many of your games are uncomfortable in Masters 5?
I think, honestly, a lot of it is the CC, and I think a lot of autopilot as well.
Okay, makes sense. When it comes to fixing your autopilot, right? Like actually addressing some of the root issues and getting better, how do you improve that? What is your impression?
I don't know. I guess it's just like focusing on the game, right? Like maybe every death, I'll be like, okay, what did I do wrong there? Type thing.
Yeah, sure, that can work. Having goals to go into, I think obviously that's kind of why we're here, right?
Right.
But I think that's very important as well. Now, I'm going to be honest with you here. When it comes to your ability to, feel comfortable in Masters, you're never going to feel quite comfortable at the rank that you're at.
Right.
Almost never. That might be maybe a psychological thing that you build some confidence and you get comfortable with it, but you're always going to feel strained. Always. Because you're competing at your rank, right? These are players of your skill, or slightly worse or slightly better. So it will always be a challenge. So when you ask me, like, I want to be able to be comfortable playing at this rank, with time that might come, but also it's always going to feel hard because that's the game's job, is to make a balanced matchmaker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for you, it might be to really, like you said, focus on the counters and maybe just to find ways of you dealing with that pressure rather than forcing myself to just make it easy. Because otherwise, at that point, just buy accounts, buy plat accounts, and there's how to make that is how you're comfortable, right? But that's obviously not what you want. So, what do you feel is holding you back from improving mechanics? Aim / don't know any of the techs. Okay, why not? Why don't you know any of the techs?
Well, I know like logically how to do them, but like it's like it don't work out.
How so?
Like the little wall jump, for example, that you were like showing. Like sometimes, like 10% of the time, I can get it. And I've tried like just sitting there for like an hour doing it, and like looking at guides or like how to press the buttons at the right time, but it's just not sticking.
Okay, so what's the solution?
Obviously, I don't know. I guess practice more, right?
Okay, but how should you practice? Because you've given me 2 scenarios. I don't know how to do it. I don't know, and then I sit there for an hour and I grind it.
Right.
So how should you practice it?
I'm not sure. Maybe just like in the practice range.
Sure. How about this? Why don't you go into your map practice that we talked earlier, find a wall where you should be able to do it, and try it 10, 15, 20 times.
Right.
And then you roll around, and then you don't do it anymore.
Okay.
And then you do it the next day, and you do it the next day. There's an in between here, right? Like you're either you're not practicing it at all, or you're practicing it for an hour. That's not exactly productive, right? That's more frustrating than anything else. But instead, just rep it out. Rep it out, but spread it out. Don't make it a chore, if that makes any sense.
Right.
And what I would do is I would try to do that with one tech at a time, or maybe 2 or 3 techs, just taking turns with each one until you get a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more comfortable also recognizing them. It might also be something that you could do to where like for example, the 180 slam. Are you familiar with the 180 slam? Of course, you must be.
Yeah.
Is that something that you use consistently and comfortably?
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you get to that point?
I don't know. I guess it's kind of easy to get like the baseline down, like how to do it, and then just getting into game just by doing it a lot of times.
Okay. So you do know some of the techs. You just don't know all of them.
Right. Like I know the simple ones.
Okay. So then let's start to move up to the intermediate ones. You can do the simple ones, but you did the simple ones through repetition and by forcing yourself to look forward in game. Do the same thing with the intermediate ones. Just don't make it miserable. Like at this point, it might be as much of a mental block than anything else. It doesn't need to be more complicated.
Okay.
What do you feel is holding you back from improving? Mentality, all of it. Overwatch 2, when you're playing into counters, definitely can bring the worst out. But what is being brought out? Let's put it that way.
I don't want to say it's like anger because I don't think that's right. But it's like it's just irritating, you know.
Yeah.
I tried to go into it thinking like, okay, I'm gonna like not care about this game, like care, but not like care enough to get mad. But then like when they pull out, the Orisa, Sombra, Ana, I'm just like, oh my god. It's more of like it's just like an oh my god more than anger.
Yeah, I understand that. I think one of the things that Yeatle said it best is the feeling of the lack of counterplay.
Right, exactly.
Consistent counterplay can be very frustrating. There's nothing worse than not knowing what to do or not feeling like there's anything that you can't do.
Yeah.
Which is definitely, to an extent, true. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's a skill issue, which it is to an extent, but it's not very fun all the time.
Okay. Yeah.
So what we're going to do is let's address this from 2 points. 3 points, actually. One, we're going to set fire to the blizzard. No. Two ways. We're going to deal with your ability to deal with this pressure, this stress, this frustration. And 2, we're going to get you better at exposing yourself less often to the worst case scenario by getting just better at playing around it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's start with the mentality right now. So first things first, when you talk about like, okay, they go this hero, they go that hero, they go this hero. Why are they going those characters?
I guess it's because like I've been annoying, right? Or like I've been effective at the start of the game.
Right. So you can already see how like this is really a two-way street. I mean, I could tell this as like, let's say back when I was really stupid as a, little plat player, I was like, oh, this guy just one-shots me. It's like ruining my game. So it's like, it's not just, oh, they are evil little Satan imps that are just there to ruin your day. They think the same thing about you, respectfully. Right. So they're doing what they think is best, which may not be accurate. It may not be the most effective thing, but what they think is best at dealing with you, the obnoxious little rat. Right.
Right.
But the thing is they don't really want to be playing Orisa. Otherwise, they would have rolled out on Orisa. And they may not have wanted to play Bastion. They may not want to play Ana because they would have rolled out those characters, right? So they feel like it's a need. So what you do is, as best as you can, you feel pity, and then you run it down. Because I guess the way to remind yourself is that they are trying to control their little environment. And they are probably not necessarily as comfortable on those characters to begin with. And even if they are, it's going to be a game of like chess at that point in time. All right? They've countered you. So then how are you going to adjust to counter them? And maybe get to the point where they end up giving up and going back to the original character they wanted. Maybe not, but it's something to keep in mind. So if they adjust and you don't adjust, then you are one step behind them evolution-wise, right?
Is that in terms of like switching character or just play style?
No, play style.
Okay.
Now, the ceiling of what you could do into that is definitely a little bit lower. But what I would say is the floor is definitely higher because it's hard to adjust to playstyle, at least initially.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? You might not be assassinating 6 all the time, but it's hard to make that adjustment. And you need to be able to find and learn satisfaction through doing that.
Okay.
Because you're still carrying the game if you can make that adjustment. But most people don't want to or can't or don't know how to make that adjustment. And we'll talk about that. But whenever you go lean hard into OTPing in a niche and you make people's lives miserable, and then they in turn try to push back, don't throw your hands up and get frustrated. You know, you're the one
Yeah.
you're the one giving them difficulties to begin with. So it's like, roll with it. Like here's the thing: it's like roll with the spoilist mindset. When I'm playing Sombra and I start spawn camping this Zenyatta and he swaps to Moira, I don't go, oh man, I can't have fun anymore. I laugh maniacally, going, haha, look what I made you do. And I'm still going to find ways to dominate you, right? That's kind of the way you need to look at it. If you go and they go Bastion Ana, you sit there and you just giggle because they wanted to play Widow so badly and now they can't, right? Rock it, rock the villain arc that you got going on.
Okay.
Because you're the villain here. You're the one making them shore up their defenses because otherwise they'll just auto lose. At least that's how they see it. So rock it, rock it. Does that make sense?
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. I love that my solution is just be evil.
Right.
But and honestly, like I think like the biggest way to look at it is it's ball now. But if you were to like let's say transition into the Orisa or transition into Reinhardt or play the tank rock paper scissors as well, you would still be tilted at something, right? So like I definitely think that Overwatch 2 can bring the worst out in people. But I think that like the fact that that's still a response to you when you get quote unquote countered or when you're dealing with something like that could also be just as much you as it is the game. Okay. Understanding, positioning, playing a CC. We'll talk a lot about that. How many hours of sleep do you need to get per night on average? 8. That's great. Do you have any other questions or anything else that you want to go
over? I don't think so. I guess the only one is like, are you recording now?
Yes.
Okay. Can I like swear or like?
Yeah, go for it.
What's the? Okay, cool.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay.
No, I think I'm fine.
You're good to go. All right.
I just don't want to mess up your like.
No. You're fine. Do you want to shoot over a code?
Oh yeah, sure. It's a win. Is that like it's like a close win? Is that okay?
Doesn't matter. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Totally fine. As long as it's a relatively close game.
It was fine.
Main thing is I just want to see you sweating, basically.
Right.
If you win or lose, I don't really care. As long as you're sweating. So, ball.
Yes.
What is? Oh boy, Circuit Royale. It's a tough map for ball for sure.
It is.
I guess why is it tough? What is your impression of the map?
Well, I think there's like a lot of long sight lines, and there's not like that much high ground that I can use really.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I'm kind of limited in like my movement and engages.
Now, the sight lines, ironically, is in my opinion actually something that's really good for ball because you can move super quickly. Most heroes have bigger issues with the distance, but the problem is in how do you capitalize off of the sight lines? So, for example, like let's look at first point, right? And then let's compare those sight lines to like Junkertown first point, right? Which one has longer sight lines?
Well, it kind of depends where you are. Like if we're around the corner, I feel like it's this one.
Yeah, it does. But what's the biggest difference between first point here and first point in Junkertown?
Like Junkertown, first point is kind of just one big sight line, I feel like.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's wide too.
Right. Yeah.
And how is that useful for you?
The wideness or the thinness of this?
The wideness.
I'm not sure. I feel like maybe more opportunities.
Sure.
I don't know.
How do you stage on this map?
Stage? What do you mean? What do you mean by stage?
Well, if you're looking to go and like let's say go for the BAP or Ashe, how do you get there from here?
Yeah, that's kind of what I struggle with, like getting behind them, right? I feel like this sort of thing is kind of as good as I can do on this map.
Sure. And I think that's exactly why Junkertown feels good because there is so wide. There are so many ways that you can approach things.
Right.
Whereas when it's narrow, you're more limited in your approach, right? Love this communication here. This is hilarious. Let's go. But yeah, seriously, that breadth is what allows for engages. So what does Wrecking Ball provide? What makes you better than other tanks? What makes you worse than other tanks?
Well, yeah, very high mobility. I feel like good survivability into the right team.
Okay.
And then good like synergy with divers as well.
So we talk about mobility. Well, how is mobility useful?
Well, I feel like ball is just like a big distraction, right? So having that mobility is like nice to not die and be able to like be in there longer.
Be in where?
Like in, I don't know, just in wherever you are, like being a distraction or maybe getting to someone quicker to be able to dive them.
Sure. So when you say you're in there for longer, I can think of a tank that's in there for longer than you. You ready for this one? Sigma. Right. You stand there and you shoot. And you shoot and you shoot and you shoot and you shoot and you shoot. And you're in there way longer than Ball. So why would you not pick Sigma? Now obviously Sigma's good in this map, but like what are the advantages of Ball versus Sigma? You said mobility allows you to stay in there longer. But Sigma has zero mobility, literally zero mobility. So
Sigma can be like here for longer, like in front of the Rhine, but I feel like Ball is more like in the back line for longer, you know? Like I'm not stuck just sitting in front of the Rhine or like in the front line.
There's the rub. So your mobility allows you to go for backline and stay in there and survive longer. Okay. That's what mobility is for. Mobility allows you to choose targets and either disengage or engage, like you said, dive on those targets in the first place. Right? Like, for example, if you're playing Sombra into this comp, and you stand there and you shoot Rhine Shield, and you hack the Rhine, and you shoot the Rhine, and virus the Rhine, you're going to lose. You're going to lose because the Ashe is going to blow your head off. The BAP is going to blow your head off, and you don't have a very good matchup versus Reinhardt as Sombra, no matter what the plot people on Blizzard forums say. So you have to go for backline. You abuse your mobility in a way to go and threaten for kills that you can actually assassinate as Sombra. And the same thing applies to Wrecking Ball.
Got it.
So keeping that in mind, this is awesome, right? What other tank could do this? You know? And also have such confidence that you'd be able to get out safely, right?
Yeah.
I don't know a single hero. Now, I want to remind you that this character has an escape cooldown that supposedly works.
Wait, that didn't get her out?
No.
No.
In fact, she's stunned in 2 spots at once. They supposedly fixed this bug, but they didn't. I've been bashed out of my translocator more times than I'd like to count.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's quite annoying. But anyway, I will control my Sombra rage for a later time. Okay. Which I'm sure you're quite happy about.
Yeah, I love it.
Look at this. It's like you're just playing another game, you know?
I'm chilling.
Ridiculous, you know? Uh-oh. First sign of things going a little bit wrong here. Oh boy. Okay. Oh, okay, we're good. We're back. There ain't nothing to see here, really, so just keep shooting. Okay. Whoa, okay. So what's the issue here? Is it hack?
Well, I think it's hacked because of my positioning. Right.
I don't care if this is a Cassidy or a Hanzo or even a Widowmaker. If you go this far, with 3 people shooting you, it's scary to get out. I mean, you could just as easily have been headshot by a Widowmaker popping out a ball form shooting this right now, right? That's 300 damage right there. Bam. That's more than Sombra does to you, right? So it's very easy to look at Sombra as the break point where she objectively punishes you with your mistakes. But I think the reason why it feels a lot worse with Sombra is because there's a big fat red text on your screen when it happens. It's annoying. I freaking hate that red text, right? But even if this isn't Sombra, there's still going to be punishment. And you look at this and you replace this with any CC, any Discord, Sleep Dart, Castnade, Hanzo, Storm Arrow, main tank experience. Am I right, guys? Am I right? But Widow headshot is the same result here. Right? I mean, everything except like a Moira right click is going to punish this mistake, right? So, what's the problem here?
I guess I went too far.
What does too far mean?
Like, stayed on that engagement with the bat for too long. Like, I was too greedy.
Okay, what I'm going to keep asking you, what does too greedy mean? Well, how did you know it was too long? What should you have been thinking about? What did you miss?
Like, where my team is and where the enemy team is.
Right.
Because they're, like, respawning.
Right. So you didn't consider respawns. You didn't consider where the cart was because you're playing not 1 down, you're playing 2 down. Your Sombra's still not back yet. You see this?
Yeah.
So she's just now staging. She's not quite there yet. Even if she had walked forward with you, she still wouldn't have been able to stop this from happening. So when you talk about overextended, got too greedy, went too far, the reason that this is a problem is there's like one member of your team really fighting here, and there's 4 members of the enemy team fighting here. That's the problem.
Okay. So in this kind of situation then, because I feel like I'm always in the mindset of like, I gotta be doing something, right? Like if I'm just sitting on the car, I feel like I'm kind of useless. There's no space. So in that sort of situation, what would you think I should be like? Where should I be? What should I be doing?
Look at where your team is positioned. Tell me where the fight is going to happen.
Like probably on that corner, like to the left where Mercy is. I feel like because the card's coming to there.
So do we care about space or pressure right now?
No.
Right. Because you could go on BAP, you could go on Moira. You wouldn't go for Reinhardt, right? But it doesn't matter right now because nothing's happening.
Right.
Maybe if you were to sit here, shoot a little bit, force Sombra out, okay, maybe whatever. But certainly don't keep going. Certainly
I could have gone him back there.
Go right back. Go right back. And then if you see your Genji dash, your Sombra goes forward, now we can go. Because now the cavalry has arrived. The thing with Ball, the curse with Ball, and why so many balls die to crowd control is because just because you can be doing something doesn't mean you should. It's the curse of mobility, where it is both the freedom to do whatever you want, but the freedom to do whatever you want is equivalent of like removing the speed limit on your car, where you could go 300 miles per hour, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. And so what ends up happening is a lot of balls keep going just because they can. I mean, most characters, like if a Reinhardt wants to use his pen, he can't keep going, right? He could just walk forward slowly, and the rest of his team just walks with him, right? But here, you could go all the way to wherever, whenever, and fight permanently. But you don't want to, because you're still at that point you're fighting by yourself, right? So when you talk about like what do I need, I feel like I always need to be doing something. Yes, you want to be having high quality uptime when the fight is actually happening, when people are shooting each other. Nothing is happening right now except you dying. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so that's why you feel at least a decent portion of the time like everyone's focusing you down and all the CC and everything is going your way. Because of course it is. Nothing is happening. They've got nothing else better to do other than shoot you.
Right.
You see that? So when you're creating space for your team, if they're going to all use all the CDs on you, make sure that there are 4 members of your team that are going to benefit from that. And if there's not, you're feeding. It's that simple.
Okay.
Like right now, I got hacked. I got javelin. I got focus. But you know what? You're fine. Why? Because there's 3 members of your team that are right here to help you out. Wait. But you see, this is like, they're being super cringe by focusing you. But there's nothing really to do. There's nothing really to do. So you might as well, you're just chilling, right? Now, what do you think about this?
I think it's okay. I didn't realize how far back my team went. I think it would have been okay if they were with us, if they were with me.
But why do you think your team falls back here?
Because they had no front line. Like, they were just getting messed up from the front. And I was chilling.
This is why.
Trying to keep me out? I don't think so.
You see this? She just got back.
Right.
So now we walk forward. Okay, we're walking. Okay, I guess we're going.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's not egregiously bad because your team is here, but it's still just a tiny bit early. It's just a tiny bit early. You notice the problem here now, right? You're totally oblivious to when and where your team is set up.
Yeah.
Now it's good enough. So shocker.
Oh no, it gets worse. I just remember what happens. I don't want to talk about it.
Well, okay. So yeah, but do you see why this actually kind of sort of works? Kind of, sort of, because you go in, you mines. Look at your Genji. Look at your Moira. Look at your Sombra. Look at your Tracer. They are walking. They're walking with you. They're walking with you. It's okay. Okay. And see, they capitalize off of that, don't they? You see that?
Right.
Even you feeding your brains out, like it works. I'm not gonna lie with you. I hate saying this. Hunt her like the plague. There is nothing that makes a Sombra more miserable than hunting her down right now.
Okay.
Because it is one of the worst defensive cooldowns in the game, and is so easy to track. And she's dead right now. So I think it's fine because the Orisa is low, but you could very easily find her. I mean, she's just so squishy.
Yeah.
It's just terrible. it's just a terrible cooldown. So abuse that. Abuse that.
Got it.
Here, go again. You see it? You see it now, don't you? What's the issue?
There's nobody there. Like, there's no point being here.
There's nobody here. There's 1, 2, 3. Your team is pushing card. Even if your team pushes up with you as best as they could, they're just not quite as quick as you. And you're running it with a Genji Sombra. That's about as mobile as you get. And they're still not quite as good as you are. So you were like, I'm in, I'm going in. And now look at your HP. Now, the problem with that is the fight starting right now?
Yeah.
And look at your HP.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Look at your HP now.
Yeah.
Look at your HP now. So you're choosing to go in when it's just you, but it's not free. You're using your adaptive shields. You're losing your HP. You're almost dying, and sometimes you are dying. You're losing your positioning. Because also think about this. Where would you want to be set up for this fight? What do you think?
Kind
of tricky, right? Not a super easy answer. What do you think? What are some ideas?
Well, I feel like I've always been told like you need to be in the back line, being a little distraction, like being a little dick on ball, right? So I feel like maybe set up behind them so I can scout them and then just swing through.
Do what you just did with the bat, but just keep rolling. Keep rolling. Go all the way around. Maybe that could work. If you don't think that can work, you could set up like maybe like here-ish, like looking where the card is, right? Like maybe set up here and do a roll through here. But you're not set up anywhere you want to be. You don't have your CDs, and now you're dead.
Right.
And you're like, oh, they all focused me down. They killed me right in front of my team. Like, what's up? Well, why? Because you were not a factor. Imagine if you had 600 or 700 HP here with adaptive shields.
Yeah, I wouldn't be dead for sure.
You would be adaptive shielding right now. You would be at 600 HP, and they would have used Lamp, EMP, Fortify, Javelin Spin, Javelin, Damage Orb, a Blink, and Virus. And you'd have 600 HP.
Right.
And your team would actually be in a position to punish them for doing that. It's really easy to look at this and be like, oh, I just died. But if you had played this just boringly proper, looked at where your team was set up, and either from the back line or from here, if they had done the same action and given that same level of focus, you would have lived. And they would they would be at a disadvantage. You see, the thing is like, even though they're up this people, they're still having kind of a hard time walking forward. It's taking a long time, and they even actually die for it because you took all their CDs. So you actually helped your team here. You just did so in a really, really bad way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Everything is, where are we fighting? When are we fighting? Where are we fighting? When are we fighting? And then asking yourself, where should I set up to help? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes. I feel so bad saying this, but yes, abuse her. Or you lost her. Yeah. Seriously, if you could track her, she's so easy to track. Because look at this here. She's just right here. She's just chilling. You just go right for her again. Ruin her day. Or BAP. BAP 2. I know what you're going for there. Now, funny, again, do you notice that you got hacked again? Let's watch this again. Hacked. Virused. Moira. But you're okay. You're okay. It's not. I'm not saying that Summer doesn't do well versus Ball. She does. But it's not the end of the world. So I want you to look at this fight from a mechanical standpoint. Tell me what you should be doing. Because in theory, you're on good timing, right?
Right.
You could be set up on backline better. So what do you think?
In terms of like where I am now, or like from
what you're doing,
where I should be.
What you're doing right now, right?
I feel like this is fine on Sombra. Like
I think so too.
I should track it down.
Factor down. Okay. Unfortunate.
And then I think I went for a pile drive here, which I think is okay. But I think maybe I would have been better off going on the backline for the BAP.
Pile drive and Moira, what does it do?
She fades away.
Yep. Is that worth it?
Yes, I think so.
I think so too. Put her out of the fight. Now the Orisa is isolated. But we didn't pile drive. I think even with hack here, I think you just messed it up, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so it happens. Mechanical misplay. We get hacked. Ah! What should we do now?
Get the health pack on the left and then get set up.
get the health pack on the left. Don't roll in the middle of your team where you accidentally get javelin. And then you pop your adaptive shields. And then now we're shooting your Orisa. And then now we're slamming a fortified Orisa, right? Now we're SMGing a Tracer. Now we're on the Sombra again. Love to see it. You stop shooting the Sombra, you shoot the BAP. That's fine. This looks promising. Ooh. And you see the one decent mechanical engage you had past the Sombra actually works out really nice.
Right.
Nicely done. But you see, it's funny how like you feel like you're being focused a lot here sometimes. Yeah, you've been hacked, you've been javelin, but yet you're fine. Why? Because it's not just you. Even here, right? They're all focusing you, but yet look at this poor Orisa. She's had to use her fortify, her javelin spin, and her ultimate just to survive. So then when you see that, what's the threat of you actually getting a kill right now?
I think it's probably unlikely.
So what should be your priority here?
Just like being a distraction, being like a displacement so that Orisa still doesn't get healing.
And then playing your life. So what do you do at this point in time? Roll through, then what?
Thinking about playing my life and maybe go for the health pack.
Go for the health pack. Go for the health pack. Roll all the way through. Grab that mega. Try it again. Right? That's it. Okay. Okay. Some mechanics. Some target priority. Some of it.
Yeah.
Most of it, timing. Positioning of where the fights are actually happening.
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
It does.
Here it comes. I'm looking forward to it. Do it.
I hope I don't mess it up. I don't remember.
Do it. Oh!
Oh, man.
But you know what? You have the right idea. You drop mines here. You force a lot of CDs. And again, look at your team, right? Moira, Sombra, Genji, Mercy. This looks like a pretty good time for me, right? It's good to me.
Yeah, much better than before.
Yeah, much better. Adaptive shields. There's the mines, or the mines, I say. There's the lamp. Good shots. I would have stayed on him, man. I'm not gonna lie. That guy just straight up lives.
Yeah.
You're forcing a lot of CDs now, but you started this fight off respectfully, like really, really badly. So then your teammates die, and then you die, and that's whatever. That's just mechanic stuff. Okay. One, two, soon to be 3, 4. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Not always a tank boop. You know, it's not always something we see that works well, but yeah, let's do it. Would not slam here. And I would definitely not adapt to shields. And I probably wouldn't shoot.
Why would you not slam there? I'm not trying to disprove you. Just
No. It's fine. It's the okay. Maybe slamming is okay. The way I look at it is that I know that I'm not going to be like doing any significant damage to the Orisa by myself. So at this point in time, I boop her off. I shoot her a little bit. I roll away, and then I set up an actual kill on somebody else 3 seconds later. If that makes sense.
Right.
So it actually is going to work out okay, but I kind of want to slam now. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to slam now. Like your slam did what 70 damage, I think, with the armor reduction, right? I want the slam on the squishy, if that makes any sense. I think I'm probably overthinking a little bit, but it really doesn't matter. Regardless, good play, good timing, nice job. Maybe not adaptive shields worthy though. I'll say that just because she's by herself. This is definitely adaptive shields worthy.
Agreed.
Watch this again. It's unfortunate you don't hit her with fireball. That would have been all the cancel hack. But you know, it's still not free, right? Like at least they're all focusing you here. But again, it's like your team still has space. You're still taking attention away. Now here you're a little bit low. Yeah, I think you should be pretty pleased with this fight. Should be pretty pleased with this fight. Here's why you lose this fight, just in case you're curious. Worst defensive cooldown in the game.
Right.
You know, so it's like, you know, it is what it is. Your summon messed up. She pulled a Spilo on the Sombra. You used too many CDs on an Orisa that was just going to fortify anyway. when just probably your grappling shots would have forced it, and that's fine. And you still almost won it. You still almost won it. Hey, look at that. Hack plus virus. Doesn't matter. Oh.
I
You see this? Oh, no. That's okay.
Would have been
Good
so
slam.
juicy.
Good. And now that your team is actually not feeding this fight, and even though you're getting hard focused, your team wins this fight off of this. You notice this?
Right.
To be honest with you, more than anything else, I think when you're talking about mid-fight engages, it's like you look at your HP here. What's the plan? You know what I'm saying? I don't.
Probably not this.
Not slam. Just keep rolling. Keep rolling.
Yeah.
Right? You've done your job. Keep rolling. And the reason why it's not this, what is because of what? Why is this not the play?
Because I don't have my shields. And
That's
everyone's
it.
kind of here.
That's it. And you don't have your HP either, right? If this is 600 HP, totally different story. Probably worth going for, actually. Not here. Not here.
Okay.
Not here at all. Now, I could break this down further and be like, when you roll through the Sombra here, because she had not used hack on you, you go up in the air, you shoot a little bit, and then you slam. Because you can cancel the hack, and then she will not be able to hack you. Then you might even be able to get the kill here. But meanwhile, while you're feeding here, the Orisa's getting 0 support, and she dies too. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think there's two ways of looking at it. Your timing, at least at the start of this VOD, was really poor. But now that has been less of an issue, the limiting factor has been more of your mechanics and more of how you play around your HP and how many cooldowns you have. Does that make sense?
Got it. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. But you notice that these fights are feeling a little bit more competitive, like you're engaged for longer, just because there's more going on from your team at the same time. Oh, she got hacked out of her pulse bomb. Ouch.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got. Let it drop. Nice. Again, notice that I get hacked. Again, weird. But look at your HP. 594. You lost less than 100 HP with hack virus.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's your entire rest of the enemy team is not focused on you. They're focused on your supports and your DPS. Their attention is split. If they had all turned on you right there, that Orisa would have died instantly. Just like she did earlier. So, is all this making sense?
It is, yeah.
Do you have any questions?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's keep going then. So here, we keep shooting, we keep pressuring. Your Genji's pushed up, so honestly, you could be a little bit more aggressive here, right?
Right.
You could kill her. You can kill her. Oh, you gotta track that. I don't know if you knew that the BAP was there, but it's at least worth a check. I'm telling you, this is terrifying for the Sombra. If she messes this up, even though she gets the hack, even if she like, as in she messes up the doesn't like oh my, look at this. And she's right there.
Right.
You see that? Actually, she did. She did.
Yeah.
You see this? I'm telling you, it's a 1v1. She doesn't win. She can't do it. She can't do it. She can't do it. And again, why is it just you're super pushed up right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is what you did earlier and got punished. So why are you not getting punished for it right now?
Because I'm on high ground, so there's only like a couple of guys that can even be here.
True, but there's another factor as well. Watch this. You ready?
Okay.
You see what's happening?
I am not sure what you're getting at, to be honest.
You feel like you're super pushed up.
Yeah.
But why is the entire rest of the enemy team not killing you?
Because they're all down there distracted.
Because they're fighting.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? When you were getting punished earlier, the entire enemy team was focused on you, and your team was just stuck pushing cart. But if you look at this from like a big picture standpoint, all right? So watch this from like, can we get the blackboard out here? No, not quite. There's like if you get in the frame, it like, okay, that's kind of the blackboard, but it's not good enough. Okay. This is not bad. Good enough. All right. So watch this.
Yeah.
Watch this. Genji's pushed up. You go to help the Genji, right? Your team backs up. Now you needed to be aware of this, but you know what they do? Is the Orisa does the same thing you do. She goes, let's push. Tracer, let's push. Moira, let's push, right? They push. So while you're like, oh, over here by yourself, you're not the only one fighting though.
Yeah.
And that's crucial. almost never want to be fighting by yourself as well. Almost never. And by yourself, I don't mean like you need people with you, but you need somebody else in your team and actively engaged to split the enemy team's attention. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
One exception is if you're spawn camping somebody. But even that, a spawn camp is a lot more effective when the enemy team is busy elsewhere. Mechanics, obviously, kind of clunky here. But this guy is totally by himself, and he's screaming for help and wondering why he's getting none. It's because of what your team is doing here. You are a team-reliant character. Anybody who says otherwise is an idiot. Because that's the thing, is you get this impression that like, oh, I could just roll around and hard carry fights, right? But you see how that's totally false.
Yeah.
The second, especially once they start to play counters, the second that they put all their attention on you, you die. If your team isn't there. Even if it's Widow, Hanzo, Zen, Mercy, like, you know, your dream squishy team. Okay. Okay. You're down a few, so just disengage. Character is just something else. Now this is chaos, right? You gotta go. So it's fine. EMP. Nice. Nice.
Crazy.
This is total chaos. I gotta
This is like a plat lobby.
Right. And you notice how many times you've been stunned, CC'd, hacked, shot, burned in the last few seconds, and yet you're fine.
Yeah.
Totally fine. There's too many things to pull their attention in too many different directions. It's not normal or wise for everybody to hard focus ball when there's a damage boosted Genji, a Sombra, and a Moira on the battlefield. You cannot hard focus you. If they do, they will lose. When you give them the opportunity to by playing by yourself, then it's over. Like, nope. Nope. Not your best matchup. Not bad, because she's not used Fortify, or she's used Fortify, but here, to be honest with you, just go for Moira. Go for Sombra. Go for Bat. Just a better 1v1, right?
Right.
Because they're like, oh, I'm going to kill the Orisa. But you'd be better served actually killing the BAP or forcing his resources so the Orisa dies faster. You're not playing Reaper. You don't kill tanks fast. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions so far?
I don't think so.
Okay. So what are you seeing so far? I know it's been a little bit repetitive. I hope not too repetitive, but to an extent, it's intended because I want you to see this message hammered over and over and over again.
Right. Yeah, I think a lot of it's timing, like you said, like making sure I know where my team is and what's going on.
So what's the solution? How do you have better timing? How do you fix this issue or improve this issue?
I'm thinking like look, like turn around and look at where my team is before I go in, right?
Because you know where do I want to like set up this engage? When do I want to set up my dive, right? So like if they do focus me with all the CC, my team will be in a better position to play around it. Right? Okay. Obviously mechanics, a little bit of mechanics, maybe a little bit of target priority, maybe also a little bit of adjusting how aggressively you engage around your CDs, right? There's nothing wrong with waiting a second or waiting 2 seconds or just rolling through and grabbing a health pack just so that you can live and then keep going. The worst uptime you can have is in the spawn room, right? And this is going to be hard. It's going to be hard for you to go for backline here. Yeah. Why does this feel so freaking bad? Why are you hard focused? Why is this? Why are they allowed to hard focus you and just burn you?
Well, I kind of feel like I have cover, but also I'm in the open there.
Yeah. Here's another question: which members of your team are like actually engaged when you get hacked?
I don't know, nobody.
Hanzo kind of has maybe, a sight line, kind of, but even that is hard, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, really not a lot, right? Not a lot. That's right there. That's it. So Could you hold this choke here? Yeah, but you need to be like super sneaky. Let them turn the corner now. Then you go for backline, and then if they all focus you, she's dead.
Right.
In fact, the only reason that you live this is because your Sombra bails you out. Check this out. That's the only reason you live.
Yeah.
And then because she's playing Sombra, she just freaking dies. But yeah. You know, even here, like I know it's tempting, And you actually play this one really well. Cancel hack, you get the 180 slam. But remember, where's your backline? Where are their sidelines, right? I know it's like, oh, they're kind of shooting, but they're kind of shooting. They're kind of, once you lose one, it might be okay to just give up space entirely and play this choke here, this line here, where you know your team can see. Don't peek this here, right? Be careful. Okay, now we're pushed up. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. You can go now. See here. See, you could be very. Could you go for backline now?
I could, but I feel like the Sombra still kind of messes me up.
She could.
So I think I'm waiting for her to like get out the way.
that was kind of her. I don't think she saw you. Maybe she did. Maybe she just didn't care.
No, I don't think she knew I was there.
I love that. Look. Do you see your character just waving? But yeah, I mean, you could have shot her a little bit, baited. You know, you could have engaged or baited the engage. But yeah, there it is, right? Easy peasy. Nice. Oof. That's disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself. Good. Yeah, nice job. You see how easy this feels? You got some support.
Right.
Now be careful about this. I don't know if your team is willing to push inside that room, so just be careful. It's not bad. You just need to understand. Just be careful. Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is bad.
So I'm gonna be real. I don't think what you did was bad. I just think you needed to get out a little bit faster and probably get out this way, or not towards the tank. Because the reason why this feels bad is, do you see where your Moira's not quite back yet? Your BAP doesn't have sightlines. Your Sombra doesn't quite have sightlines either. That's why this feels bad. Does that make sense?
Right.
I think what you did is just in theory, just wasn't executed very well.
Okay.
Okay, let's keep going here. Oh. Oh man, you really are by yourself here. Cheeky. But who is there? Yeah, their BAP is dead, so maybe. And your team is shooting their Sombra, right? So that means that she's not focused on you. So, and your Sombra is, this isn't actually too bad, right? So when you're rolling out from spawn here, you go, okay, their BAP is dead. My Sombra's set up. Maybe worth a try. Well, both BAPs are dead, I think. Wait, really?
Oh,
yeah, no,
okay.
you're right. No, you're right. You're right. No, you're totally right. Totally right. I'm an idiot.
Not to dig myself a grave.
Yeah. That's okay. Their BAP is as good as dead. Wait, why is their BAP using the CDs here? Okay, that's that. Let's see what he did with this. What did he do with this? Oh, he wasted it. And then my guy's dead. Live. Wait for your guys to get back. Now they're here. Now you're fine. Everybody's here. Didn't even need that EMP, honestly. So you can engage by yourself. You just need to understand how you need to engage by yourself. Like how careful you need to be.
Yeah.
Where's your team fighting?
They're kind of not fighting.
Where will your team be fighting?
Really where the Hanzo is, but I think I was just worried about the back cab from Sombra.
Yeah. I understand that. I think it does look like around this choke here again, right?
Right.
So if you don't, so you see, I understand the back cap from Sombra was a legitimate fear, but your BAP almost dies because you're not there to punish the choke.
Gotcha.
Why is the Sombra not being harassed?
Yeah.
You're worried about the back cap. Again, I'm not saying it's a mistake from you, but you could see your BAP messes up his timing, and he almost dies for it.
I guess it's kind of like not my job to be on the back cap, right? Like in the back line.
It depends. I don't want to create a hard rule, though. Just use your judgment here. It's fine.
Okay.
I think it's more of just a way to demonstrate the kind of what I'm talking about here. Stop slamming the Orisa. I beg. Please. Because you're like, the thing is like, well, okay, so let's talk about that. Why are you slamming the Orisa?
I think I was just hoping more people would walk into it. Just trying to get value on someone, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. What would happen if you slammed back here?
I think I would get hacked. But then I'd probably be okay.
To be honest with you, depending on where you slam the Orisa, you're off just as likely to get hacked slamming the front line, if not even more so. Because the damage itself is going to cancel the hack if she's not quick with it. But here, if she just walks, she just hacks you and you're done. Right?
Right, yeah.
So just keep that in mind. It's sometimes better to hit your threats in the mouth than it is to avoid them. Depends, right? Depends. Okay. This seems like a good time to go. Tracer's there. Orisa's good. Just go for her. To be honest with you, it's how you engage. It's not what you engage. Here, all you need to do is stop shooting the Orisa and get to cover, disengage, or have canceled the hack in the first place by shooting the Sombra. You kind of get what I'm saying? You have a big obsession with Orisa, and you're like, oh, how does she survive, but I don't survive? Well, this is why. 1 cooldown, 2 cooldowns, ultimate. That's the only reason she even lives as long as she does.
Yeah.
And she's also not shooting you and wasting her time. So you die here, but this Orisa is also very close to death as well. And she's playing an easier character. Right? So looking at this play, what do you think is the play?
I think I probably engaged on the wrong people. So maybe go on the back line.
Sure.
And then I could like hit a roll, circle around to the bridge maybe.
And certainly adapt the shield's ball form now. And then fully disengage. Don't go for the slam that you were going for.
Yeah.
Different situation. Yeah. Obviously, I'm not going to lie with you. This is hard. And it's not as hard for them. And that is frustrating at times, for sure, right? But there's also just a little bit of hubris of just how you're engaging. That was weird. Did you see that freeze? That was weird. But yeah. So let's look at this again here.
Oh, by the way, just so you know, we're a little bit over the time.
Yeah, that's fine. We started late. I let the next session know already. Don't worry about
cool.
it. We started late, so we'll keep going. So why does this feel so scary?
Sorry, I looked away for a second. I'm not sure where my team is. Oh yeah, they're like nowhere. I'm just gonna go in on my own again.
Summer's dead. App's dead.
Yeah. I'm just on my own.
Okay. Not that deep, right?
Yeah.
Weird, you survived a hack. Why?
Because I wasn't positioned in a place where I would like die from it.
He misses every shot and it still does the job. Right?
Right.
Also,
she's scared. Right.
also here, right?
Yeah.
You're a team character. Every character is a team character. Now, be very careful about engaging here. Why?
So my team is still pretty far back.
Right. It's a mobility curse. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Now, this Tracer can't peek you, though. She can't punish because she can't overextend just like you did into your team, right? You see that?
Yeah.
What do you think? Good time? Bad time?
I think it's kind of mid, leaning towards bad, because my team is still not up.
Right. So just give it like probably 2 seconds, right? So let's just watch. All right. Here, when do you go? You go now. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think actually 4 seconds. I think now would have been a perfect time to go. Right? Fortunately. Right? You see that?
Right.
It's tricky because as a tank, you want to be going first, right? At least a lot of the time. Not always. Not always, but you often want to be going first. But it's the equivalent of like, I think of a good analogy here. You want to create the space when it's going to be used, right? Is the space that you're creating being used right now?
No.
Not really, because natural cover would prevent this Orisa, this Baptiste, and the Summer from shooting your team right now. The tank is the map right now. They're not under any threat at all right now. Now they would be under threat, right? This would be when the Orisa's shooting, the Sombra's shooting, the Tracer's shooting, correct? If they were still here, right? But this is when you're already adaptive shields down, grapple down, slam down, HP down. I think you also missed the mega. I honestly can't tell. Doesn't matter. And now is when you're going out. That's the thing is like when you're so obsessed with uptime, you're going to have a lot of downtime. Because you're always going to want to go in super hard immediately without considering your team. And so then when your team needs you the most, which is right now, you're not either dead or you're out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's not just about high quality, like a high uptime. It's about the quality of that uptime. And your team really needs you in right now. Like your team needs mines. Your team needs to be shooting Sombra because this is terrifying for them. BAP window, everything. But you're out. And not only are you out, you're demanding healing when your team really needs to be doing damage.
Mm.
Does all that make sense?
Yeah, I think it's just timing again.
Right. So ask yourself, when do I need to be a threat for my team? When can I create a threat on the enemy team? Find that window. Find that timing and pressure at that point in time. Nice tracking. You'll not only do a better job tanking, you'll survive more as well. She's a little dense. And again, why is there no punish, right?
Right.
Two people. Meanwhile, you've got 1, 2 people, 3 people, right? There's just nothing there. So, maybe mines wasn't 100% necessary here, but it's whatever. You see, even here, you're like, oh, I'm hacked. But cavalry's arriving. Baptiste, look what your BAP is doing. Right? Look, you just forced Lamp. You just forced Lamp by allowing your Baptiste to play DPS. See that? It was good. Now you know where you're going to engage here, right? Here we go. Now your team needs space. You see it? And now's when you're going. So I think this is going to work. Unless you mess this up mechanically. Nope. You see it? You see it? You see how good this feels?
Yeah.
Great job. I don't know what kills your Moira, but you should be very proud of this engage. This is beautiful. This is really, really good. I'm so sad that this is not working out as well as it should. That's honestly just a crazy mechanical play. Now, what you could do here, let's actually finish with this.
Okay.
What could you do mechanically here to clean up? Because the basics, the fundamentals of this engage are beautiful.
Yeah.
So what about the micro? Let's look at this.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. 2 at the roll.
Okay?
Kind of get stuck on the tracer.
Classic ball problem.
Right. Go for the slam. I feel like it's a decent slam.
I think so too. My question is, I wonder if you could have shot a little bit more first, shot on his head a little bit more, then slam.
Yeah.
Maybe? Because you had the shots lined up, and then obviously landing the slam on him and not on the tracer was really important. Because I think he only takes like 40 damage, I think, from the slam.
Right.
So that needed to be placed better. If you do that, I think this guy.
Further back.
Let's look how low he gets. And then also, that would have put him lower. You would have got a more accurate slam. I think he probably dies here because he drops to 110 HP. And also, I think you give too much respect to the Sombra here, who I don't think has hack of. Okay, she does. So maybe at that point it would be almost worth greeting. Grapple here, probably fine. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I think mostly the shots and then maybe a slightly more accurate slam.
Okay.
So that you could actually do, you would have done at least 50 more, 60 more, maybe even more damage. Would that have won the fight? I don't know. But again, do you notice how like how much they focus you here and yet you're getting out easily, even though 2 of your teammates died?
Yeah.
Timing issue, right? Feels so much better. And this is you actually may even win this fight. Hang on, let's see. I lied. I want to see this fight. Hanzo, where your team needs space, and that's exactly when you're going in. You notice this? Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It feels terrible, but you know what? You forced her to pop it early. She did not even get to your Hanzo or BAP. And you're hacked, and you're cold. Very winnable. Very winnable. Mechanics are everything here. Mechanics are everything. Honestly, focus Sombra, I think. Mechanics, you see that? Goofy grapple.
Yeah, I messed up the thingy.
That's okay. And now, while you've been zoning backline, no follow-up. Use it. Let it rip. Or maybe you don't even need to. So mechanics were messy there, but you notice that like as chaotic as that was, you got Orisa ulted, they tried to hack you, they were hard focusing you, it still didn't matter. Now you're hacked again. Again, it doesn't matter. Look at that. Look at how much HP you lose over hack. I'm sorry. You're at 370. You get hacked. And you take 150 damage?
Yeah.
That's nothing. That's that's virus. And like 3 or 4 bullets from Sombra, right? Because nobody's looking at you. They can't. You know? Moira and Bap can't afford to look at you because they're going to die to everything else. And they die anyway. So anyway, I don't want to harp at this too long. I know this has been... Do you see Samra's corpse?
Yeah.
Okay. She's just flying, man. Let's see the ragdoll here. Well, I forget. It resets when you zoom out. That's sad. Wait, no, it doesn't. She's still there. Let's go. Anyway, ragdoll mechanics are hilarious. That's awful.
That's what they deserve.
That's what they deserve. Okay, so let's take a look here. So, goals, Wrecking Ball. What do you got to practice?
Timing number 1.
Timing. How do you improve your timing?
Looking at where the team is and looking at where the enemy team is and when they need space.
Enemy team asking, when do we need space? / when are they taking our space? So I need to punish them. Okay. What else?
Yeah. I think mechanics in general.
Mechanics.
Like we talked about the text at the start, and then there was a couple of quite a few mechanical just clunkiness in the game. Maybe a better warm up would help.
And just practice. And I also think here's another thing you can do. Once you get your timing a little bit improved, or even before you get your timing a little bit improved, there's nothing wrong with going into a game and just focusing on landing the right combo at the right time.
Right.
Like trying to slow it down. Like, okay, who do I want to gauge? Okay, how do I want to gauge? Like, just treat it like a kid on a jungle gym. What's the fastest way to get from point A to point B? And kind of think about theory craft it and try in some different ways. Because mechanics are super, super complex, it can be really, really fun and really challenging to try and figure out what's the optimal engage here.
Right.
It'd be productive. What else? About target priority.
Yeah, so less on the tank and more on the backline.
A little less attention to tank usually. Obviously, that's not a hard rule. Just depends on the circumstance. But okay. Anything else? Yeah. I think those are the main 3 for me.
Yeah, I think that was the most of it.
Okay. Any questions?
Let me just read over that real quick. No, I think I'm okay. I think this has really helped.
Okay. Well, if you have any questions,